Life will not always be easy. There will be days when you feel like the weight of the world is pressing down on you, when the struggles seem endless, and when happiness feels like a distant dream. But happiness is not something you stumble upon by accident. It is something you must choose, even in the middle of the storm. You can't wait for everything to be perfect to be happy, because perfection never comes. You have to decide that no matter what you're going through, you will push yourself to find joy, peace, and gratitude in the moment. The truth is, most people let circumstances dictate their emotions. They let disappointment, pain, and fear control their mindset. But if you want to truly rise in life, you must learn to master yourself, not just your environment. The storms will come whether you like it or not, but happiness is found when you stop waiting for them to pass and start dancing in the rain. Happiness comes from discipline. It comes from the decision to focus on the blessings that still remain when everything seems to be falling apart. It comes from gratitude for the little things that most people overlook. When life feels hard, you don't need to deny your pain, but you do need to refuse to surrender to it. Acknowledge it, feel it, but then decide to rise above it. The people who thrive are not those who never face difficulties. They are those who learn how to transform those difficulties into fuel. You must remind yourself that happiness is not an event, it's a mindset. It is not the car, the house, the promotion, or the relationship. It is the daily decision to live with faith, to believe that even in the middle of hardship, you are being shaped for something greater. If you let bitterness take root in your heart, it will blind you to the opportunities in front of you. But if you choose happiness, even when life is heavy, you open the door to strength, the growth, and unexpected blessings. The hard days are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to teach you how to stand tall when everything else is falling apart. Happiness is a practice just like strength training. The more you push yourself to smile through adversity, the stronger your spirit becomes. And one day you'll look back at the battles you thought would break you, and you'll realize they were the very moments that made you unshakable. Happiness is a choice, not a condition. This truth may sound simple, but it carries the power to completely shift the way you experience life. Too many people spend their entire lives waiting for happiness to arrive. They believe that once they get the right job, find the right partner, achieve the right goal, or accumulate the right amount of wealth, then happiness will magically appear. But life doesn't work that way. Happiness is not delivered by circumstances, it is created by decisions. Think about how often people say things like, "I'll be happy when," or "I'll finally feel joy once." What they're really doing is placing the key to their own fulfillment in someone else's hands or in situations they cannot fully control. And when life doesn't go as planned, they feel robbed of their joy. But the truth is, happiness is not stolen from us. It is surrendered when we choose to link it to things outside our control. When you wake up each morning, you are faced with a choice to focus on what's missing or to focus on what's present, to dwell on what's wrong or to acknowledge what's right. Choosing happiness doesn't mean ignoring your problems. It means refusing to let your problems define you. It means looking at your challenges, acknowledging the struggle, but still deciding to find something good in the day. It means refusing to let the storm control your soul. Life will test this decision. There will be times when pain feels overwhelming, when loss cuts deep, when disappointment shatters your expectations. In those moments, happiness might feel impossible. But choosing happiness doesn't mean pretending the pain isn't real. It means you don't let the pain steal your hope. It's about saying, yes, this hurts, but I will not let it destroy my peace. I will not let it dictate the rest of my life. Happiness is an inside job. You cannot buy it, borrow it, or wait for someone else to give it to you. It's a muscle you build through practice. Every time you smile when you want to cry, every time you express gratitude when it feels easier to complain, every time you choose to see possibility instead of limitation, you're strengthening that muscle. And just like with physical training, the more you do it, the stronger you become. Many people believe happiness is tied to success, but the truth is, success is often the byproduct of happiness. When you live with joy and gratitude, you open your mind to creativity, resilience, and opportunities that stress and negativity often block. Happiness fuels your energy, sharpens your focus, and attracts people who want to be around you. When you choose happiness regardless of your circumstances, you carry a light that inspires others. This choice doesn't happen once. It happens daily, sometimes hourly. It is the constant redirection of your mind away from fear and frustration back toward faith and gratitude. And yes, there will be days when choosing happiness feels like the hardest thing in the world, but that's exactly why it's so powerful. If happiness were easy, everyone would have it. But because it requires strength, faith, and persistence, it becomes one of the greatest victories you can achieve. When you realize that happiness is a choice, you take back your power. You no longer need to wait for life to be perfect. You don't need to depend on others to validate you. You stop giving your circumstances the authority to control your heart. Instead, you stand up and declare, no matter what happens around me, I will choose joy within me. That decision alone can change the entire trajectory of your life. Gratitude is not something you express only when life is good. It is a discipline that becomes most powerful when life is difficult. Gratitude has the ability to shift your perspective from weakness to strength, from despair to resilience. When you choose to be thankful, even in the midst of pain, you are reminding yourself that your struggle does not define your entire existence. Gratitude opens your eyes to blessings that are easy to overlook, and those blessings become anchors that hold you steady in the storm. Think about this. Pain magnifies problems, but gratitude magnifies possibilities. The same situation that feels unbearable can become manageable when you focus on what you still have instead of what you've lost. For example, losing a job can feel devastating, but gratitude shifts your perspective from I have nothing to I still have skills, I still have experience, I still have opportunities ahead of me. Gratitude doesn't erase the difficulty, but it empowers you to face it with strength instead of weakness. When you train your heart to see what is good, you are training your spirit to endure. Gratitude is not naive optimism. It's not pretending that everything is fine. It is the courageous decision to see that even in the worst of times, something good remains. It might be your health, your relationships, your faith, or even just the fact that you are still alive to fight another day. And the moment you recognize those blessings, your heart grows stronger. Gratitude transforms your mindset because it forces you to stop focusing only on the pain and start acknowledging the progress. It reminds you that every challenge carries lessons that can serve your future. When you are grateful for the lesson in the hardship, you no longer see the hardship as punishment, you see it as preparation. This shift in perspective gives you strength that most people never experience, because while they are complaining, you are growing. Gratitude doesn't just strengthen you internally, it also changes how others perceive you. A grateful person shines even in the middle of trials. People are drawn to those who can maintain peace, thankfulness, and joy even when things are falling apart. Gratitude attracts support, relationships, and opportunities that negativity repels. By choosing to be thankful, you are not only building your own strength, you are also creating an atmosphere where growth and breakthrough can happen. When life feels heavy, gratitude is the tool that turns weight into wisdom. It transforms hardship into strength by teaching you how to stand tall when everything else is collapsing. It doesn't make the pain disappear, but it does make you stronger than the pain. And once you realize that, no storm can break you. Happiness and joy are not accidents. They are built on discipline. Most people think discipline only applies to work, finances, or fitness, but the truth is discipline is also the foundation of your emotional life. Lasting joy doesn't come from fleeting moments of pleasure. It comes from the disciplined choice to align your actions, thoughts, and habits with what truly matters. Discipline means training your mind not to surrender to every negative emotion. It means refusing to let your feelings run your life. When anger rises, discipline reminds you to respond with patience. When fear tries to control you, discipline reminds you to act with courage. When discouragement whispers in your ear, discipline reminds you to focus on hope. Without discipline, your emotions will toss you back and forth like waves in a storm. With discipline, you can stand firm no matter what comes. Discipline also means creating daily habits that nurture joy. You cannot wait for joy to appear. You must cultivate it. That means practicing gratitude every day, even when you don't feel like it. It means protecting your mind by being intentional about what you read, watch, and listen to. It means surrounding yourself with people who inspire you instead of draining you. It means speaking life over yourself instead of constantly rehearsing your failures. These practices require consistency, and that consistency is what creates stability in your emotions. True discipline also involves the choices you make with your time. Lasting joy cannot exist in a life filled with chaos and distraction. If you spend all your time chasing temporary pleasures, you may feel happy for a moment, but emptiness will always return. Discipline helps you invest your time in things that bring lasting fulfillment, growth, service, purpose, and connection. The joy that comes from those things is deeper, stronger, and unshakable. Another key part of discipline is resilience. When setbacks come, discipline keeps you moving forward instead of giving up. It teaches you how to endure when others quit. It reminds you that joy is not about having a problem-free life. It's about staying steady through the problems. A disciplined life is a joyful life because discipline builds confidence. You no longer feel like life is out of control because you know you are in control of yourself. Without discipline, joy is fragile. It disappears at the first sign of trouble. But with discipline, joy becomes a fortress. You can face hardship without crumbling because your joy is not dependent on circumstances. It's built on the strong foundation of daily choices, consistent habits, and inner strength. Discipline is the soil where lasting joy grows. And once you cultivate it, no storm can uproot it. Happiness is not about denying the pain, but about refusing to let it win. When you choose happiness in the middle of hardship, you not only survive, you thrive. You become stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than ever before. Remember, happiness will never be a result of everything going right. It will always be the result of you deciding to live with joy no matter what goes wrong. In the end, happiness is your choice and your choice alone. Push yourself to be happy even when life is hard, and you'll discover a strength inside you that nothing can break.